Right then guys, we're on the River Blackwater. Just going to trot some maggots. We've got a couple of hours down here. Got some mixed red and whites. I'm using a size 18, 3-pound red maggot pattern. Pre-tied, just the convenience, to be honest with you. Didn't have a lot of time. Don't have a lot of time to go out fishing, so when I do, I just like to get as much time fishing as I can. So, you know, right about now, I know you can't see it, but right at the end of my run, and there's a tree that's fallen down across the river, just kind of narrowing the run. And if there are chub anywhere, that's where I would be. At the moment, no. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the run. Not a little sniff, so what I do is might just pop it a little bit deeper. I'm not tripping the bottom at the moment, so not as far as I can tell. Be nice just to be tripping the bottom, and then I can shallow up a bit from there, find my depth. .11-foot Acolyte, Drennan Acolyte Ultra. Lovely little rod. Not had the 11-foot that long. I've got a 15-foot as well. They do I think they do a 9 and a 10. And I've got to be honest, there are some stretches of this river that the 9 and the 10 might be better suited, you know, when you've got kind of trees above you and you're just trying to cast, like sneak it under. But for this type of swim, this is a lovely rod. Obviously what you lose out on with the smaller rods is you not quite got as much control of the float, can't get the line up in the air. You want to keep as much line out of the water as you can when you're trotting a float down. Make sure you've got the line behind the float, just correcting and mending the line all the time. Sometimes I do find with these close face reels that the line doesn't run off them as well as it could, as well as it probably would on a centre pin, you know, which is, I guess, why people fish a centre pin. But you kind of get used to just giving it a very gentle flick. Might see me doing it now, and that does just help to just let the line come out a bit. Make sure it's coming off the spool nicely. So that's 3 trots down and not a sniff. Not even a mini inquiry, I don't think. Every time I retrieve, I'm just bringing back a leaf which I'm picking up on the surface. On my hook length, I've got one of those Drennan quick snap micro swivels on there, and that just allows the maggots on the retrieve just to twist so that they don't tangle, they don't put a twist in the line. The other thing you can do apparently is you can hook your maggots on one tail end and one head end, and apparently that helps reduce the twisting as well. But the advantage of the swivel is that it also gives you a quick change. So if you're, instead of loop to loop, you can just slip the rubber off the swivel and hook a new loop on there, new hook length. If you want to change hook size or line weight, then you can do that really, really quickly. There we go, we're into something here. What have we got now? It always feels like a monster in the flow, doesn't it? I suspect we've got a gudgeon maybe. Let's have a look. Oh, lovely gudgeon. I just love them. They're one of my favourite fishes. They beautiful size, beautiful looking fish rather, like a miniature barbel. Okay, last cast in this swim, of course, and then we will potter off, find another swim, see how we get on. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me on my last cast. See what we've got here. Yeah. Little roach. Tiny little roach. Enough to give it one more cast, see, just in case there are some more down there. It's about where the bite came last time. Struck and I thought I had it. Remember when I said last cast? Definitely got the depth right now. I'm just tripping along the bottom nicely. Beginning to understand like what's on the bottom. Like, oh, that's a shallow bit there. So you can hold the line back and try and climb over the top of it. Drop the bait down the other side. Oh, there's some quick bites there. Definitely roach. So now we have moved to a new swim. Slightly shallower up here. So let's see how we get on. I've also gone up a hook size. I'm size 16 now. It's missing quite a few bites. Up there, I think a shoal of small roach had popped in, and I was going to go up or down on the hook size, see which worked, and then I got caught up and I snagged up. So gone up and I've moved down here, see if we can get a better stamp of fish. Sometimes you get the odd chub down here, so fingers crossed. Certainly pushing through a bit faster down here. Oop. Got to be careful of that tree. And that tree in front. This is where the 11-foot rod comes into its own. You could probably do with a 9 or a 10 here, would be even better. But this 11-foot does the job, as long as I stand in a particular place. There we go. What have we got here? Certainly a better stamp than a Gudgeon, but hard to tell in this flow. Small little chub. There we go. And away he goes. The elegant dispatch. I met a guy in that other swim just as I was moving on, or about to move on, and had a nice chat. He was just walking along the bank. He'd been back to his van, pick up some bits. Done 24 hours on the lake behind me after the carp. He was going to be here for 4 or 5 days. His missus had gone up to Scotland, so he was dead excited to get out for a week off work and a week fishing. He was buzzing. But we were talking about, he stopped and he was asking me about how river fishing was going, and he was saying that he's never really done it, but always kind of fancied it. But into his carp fishing, and that takes priority. We were talking about how I think kind of nearly every carp angler, could learn something by getting out and trotting a float, or just going waggler fishing. I just think you can learn so much from all the different types of angling out there, and then you can take that angling, those things that you've learned, into your other types of fishing as well. And I'm not sure there's enough of that. I think a lot of people get into carp fishing and just stick with carp fishing, which is fine. People often don't have time to learn a new method of fishing or a new type of fishing. Right, onwards and upwards. Just after that one chub, small chub, and it has just gone quiet as hell in here. So I'm just going to move up to the next swim and see what's going on down there. Just keep moving. Just on the crease line is where I'm trying to fish. So where the faster water meets the slacker water. That's where I'm trying just to trot down through. What have we got? Looks like it could be a minnow. I'm just trying to keep inside line. See what we can pick up down here. What's that? God, blimey. I mean, they are getting big. Yep, it's time to move on. Whoa! All we are catching are loads and loads of little minnows like that. So tiny little things. Beautiful. Fish in miniature. but not quite what we're after. There we go. First perch of the session. Surprised by that. Surprised not had a lot more then. I think this is kind of, I might jump in one more swim and then I'm going to call it for the day. So not the most productive of session, but still good fun. Get out in the water. Well, quite literally in the water. And you know, catch a few little bits, which has been good fun. This really is quite deep, this sludge that I'm in. So let me try and free myself from that. One of the things that I always recommend is make sure that you've got a storm pole or a decent length bank stick with you. Firstly, so that you can check how deep the river is before you get in it, which is the mistake I didn't make a moment ago. But secondly, also so that you can use it to kind of grapple your way out and check, as you're moving around, the depth and the solid. Check to see how solid the bottom is. Yeah. Anyhow, I will move on to one more swim. Last swim of the day. Yeah, I've got a Zoom call that I've got to get onto in a moment. So I'll be doing that from the car and trying to look as though I have not been out fishing. I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm going home. But I've had a great couple of hours out on the water. So hope you guys get out as well. If you've not done any river fishing, then give it a whirl. It's great fun. And even just catching those tiny little fish can be brilliant. So give it a whirl. And I also think there's loads that you can learn about doing different types of fishing and how they can help you with carp fishing or barbelling or whatever type of fishing you're into. I think the more different types of fishing you do, the more skills you'll learn and the more that's going to help you with the type of fishing that you do the most. So give it a go, try something new and get out there is my advice. Take care, guys.